Okay, so we have another positive story. This is
What?
a rarity on Hardlands Media.
So
Usually,
we have two positive stories back to back.
yeah,
What
I
are
mean,
you
I
doing?
really should have moved these apart. Yeah. Oh well, we're gonna have two good stories next to each other. Okay, I love this story. Okay, ready? Virginia lawmakers passed bill giving citizen oversight panels actual investigative powers in police misconduct complaints. So to give a little background, because we've covered a number of stories on the civilian oversight of police topic, most of the time the way it works is that eventually, begrudgingly, after the police kill half a dozen people per 100 citizens or something like that, people go, okay, we need to have an oversight board. But all of the power on the oversight board is either given to the mayor or it's given to the police chief. So the citizen board can make whatever decision they want, and then they have to go, Sir Sheriff, please will you read this and incriminate your own people for stuff that they actually did? And they, of course, go, I'll look into it, let me investigate, and then they never talk about it again before they say no. So this is different. This is why this is exciting. So the General Assembly has passed a bill to allow localities to establish citizen oversight bodies to investigate police misconduct complaints and discipline officers who they determine break the rules. The bill allows city councils and city boards of supervisors statewide to create civilian panels starting next July 1st to examine use of force complaints, cases of death and serious injury while in custody, as well as abuse of power and discrimination concerns. Wow, almost seems like having the civilian population in charge of the military, but local. Huh, crazy idea. Anyway, unlike current citizen police boards that have little control, these boards would have actual investigative powers, including the authority to ask circuit court judges to subpoena records and witnesses needed for such investigations. It's almost like a board that has power. The board could mete out discipline ranging from written reprimands to demotions to terminations after consultation with officers, direct supervisor, and commanding officers. That wording I don't like, but having consultation with is incredibly different from as determined by. So, fine. Okay, let them consult. Officers facing such investigations can have a lawyer to represent them, the bill says, and they can file a grievance if they don't agree with a particular outcome. This is great. There's some stipulations in there that I'm not the biggest fan of, but overall, we've been asking for citizen review boards to have power and show what they can do, especially if these are kind of like hodgepodged out by local, county, and cities. We're going to have a better chance of getting a really good mix going or a couple really good mixes going that work well. And as you guys know, in America, it's really hard to convince your place to be the first one to do something, but it's much easier to go, yeah, but they did it and it's working okay. Now, I want to go back to a story that we covered a while ago in the summer that had to do with a podcast that the police chief of Minneapolis was a part of. And he talked about this. And when he talked about civilian review boards, he said, don't worry about them as long as you can make sure that the sheriff or the mayor has final say. They don't matter to us. It's a joke. So we may have a non-joke going on here. And I'm really surprised it happened in Virginia. I'm happy. Good job, Virginians. So I want to see this thing work out. It looks like we're going to have to wait till July 1st for this to get to go in. So hopefully no Republicans decide to pull some nuclear option and get this thing undone, or I'm not sure if they would even be able to do that.
I think this seems to be like a state and local issue.
It's what it is. It's the state basically saying you guys can make these things, and here's a template for them.
Yeah. All right.
That's good.
Hold on. I want to hand it over to Jose. What are your comments, Jose?
This sounds a lot like CPAC. So like if Virginia's messing around with this, why can't Chicago already?
Yeah. Hey, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, didn't you run on reform and changing the way the system is? Oh wait, she chose not to. She's not doing that at all. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to wait till the next municipal election for us to bring in change, because now more than ever, Mayor Lori Lightfoot seems to have reversed a lot of her campaign promises, and we're just stuck with, again, a lot of Chicagoans are just stuck waiting, hoping for change. I'm really glad that this news is happening for the people of Virginia. It's long overdue, And it's just Virginia's leading the way. I'm willing to see. I can't wait to see what other states are willing to do. And the fact that this is being done says a lot about how things have changed politically in this country.
And I want to see what happens. Like right now, police get to go, well, we investigated ourselves, and we were perfectly right. In fact, I have a story later on that's going to be talking about that sort of subject. So I really am interested if if a board is done correctly, and it looks like this is all the pieces to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what happens with police misconduct and who actually gets. Like, will this, like, right now the record is police don't ever do anything wrong except in really rare instances where there are small amounts of bad apples. I want to see if the rate at which these things happen change. Because if the review board is, like, knocking off or terminating, like, 10% of the police that go through it, that would show, I think, to a lot more people than us
Yeah.
that maybe it's more than a few bad apples.